Many students often get confused between a literature review and an annotated bibliography. At first glance, they may seem similar because both deal with research sources. But in reality, they are very different in purpose, structure, and how you use them in your work. What is an annotated bibliography? An annotated bibliography is a list of sources like books, articles, or documents. Each source is followed by a short paragraph called an annotation. This paragraph usually summarizes the source and explains its importance or reliability. You can also include your personal reactions and how you might use the source in your research. The main goal of an annotated bibliography is to keep track of your sources and show why they are relevant. It is usually used in the early stage of research to collect and understand relevant studies. What is a literature review? Instead of listing sources, a literature review is a discussion of published research in a specific area. It summarizes, evaluates, and connects the sources to show the current state of knowledge. The purpose of a literature review is to provide background for your research. It shows what has been studied, what methods were used, and where there are gaps or disagreements. A literature review is used in a research paper, thesis, or dissertation to discuss and connect many studies together, analyze their findings, and show patterns, gaps, and existing knowledge about the topic. How sources are presented. In an annotated bibliography, sources are presented as a list. Each entry begins with a full citation written in a specific style such as APA, MLA, or Chicago. After the citation, you write a short paragraph that explains the source. The sources are usually arranged alphabetically so they are easy to locate. Each entry stands on its own, and the information about one source does not mix with other sources. In a literature review, sources are not shown as a list. Instead, they are integrated into paragraphs within a continuous discussion. Several studies can appear in the same paragraph, and the writer moves from one source to another while explaining how the research relates to the topic. The discussion usually moves from general information about the research area to the more specific focus of the study. Sources can appear more than once in different parts of the discussion if they relate to more than one theme or idea. What you write for each source. In an annotated bibliography, the paragraph after each citation includes a short summary of the main ideas of the source. It may describe the topic of the study, the focus of the article, and the main findings. It can also include a short evaluation of the credibility of the source, the methods used, and the reliability of the information. Some annotations also mention how the source may be used in the research project. The discussion is brief and focuses on one source at a time. In a literature review, the writing includes summaries of studies but also explains the findings, arguments, and research methods used by different authors. The writer discusses how studies support or challenge each other, explains differences in findings, and shows how different approaches have been used to study the topic. Instead of describing one source at a time, the discussion combines information from several studies to show how knowledge about the topic has developed. How the paper is structured. An annotated bibliography follows a simple structure. The document mainly consists of a list of sources with annotations under each citation. In some cases, a short introduction may appear at the beginning to explain the topic of the research and the direction of the project. After that, the entries continue one after another in a consistent format. A literature review has a more developed structure. It begins with an introduction that explains the topic, the scope of the review, and the criteria used to select the sources. The main body contains several paragraphs that organize research based on themes, time periods, or research methods. Within these paragraphs, the writer discusses multiple studies together and explains their relationships. The conclusion summarizes the main patterns found in the literature, evaluates the current state of research, and highlights areas that still need further investigation. Level of detail for each source. In an annotated bibliography, the level of detail is limited because the focus is on short descriptions of individual sources. The annotation usually explains the main argument, the focus of the research, and sometimes the strengths or limitations of the study. Each entry is concise and focuses on presenting key information about that single source. In a literature review, the level of detail is broader and more connected. The writer discusses findings from multiple studies together, describes research designs and methods used across studies, and examines similarities and differences in results. The review may also identify patterns in the literature, show how research has developed over time, and point out gaps where limited research exists. These gaps help show areas where more studies are needed and where new research questions can emerge. How sources are organized. In an annotated bibliography, the organization is usually alphabetical by the author's last name. Each source appears only once and is treated independently from other sources. The entries follow the same format, and the focus is on providing clear information about each source. In a literature review, the organization depends on the ideas and patterns found in the research rather than alphabetical order. Sources may be grouped by themes, theoretical approaches, research methods, or time periods. Within each group, the writer compares studies, explains relationships between them, and shows how different findings contribute to the understanding of the topic. The discussion may also highlight disagreements between researchers, different interpretations of results, and areas where research is still limited or unclear. I have attached videos explaining how to write an annotated bibliography and a literature review using AI tools such as ChatGPT. Please make sure to watch them.